Yeah, Mama Mondays, guys. Mama. What's poppin', YouTube? It's your girl May Banks, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're using the red mic today. This is gonna be a very interesting, complex type of recording session. You already know the vibes. It is Monday, so it's Mama Mondays. I'm trying to get these videos out every single Monday after 9 p.m. What we thinking, 9 or 10 p.m.? Because let's be real, after bedtime, get them a little sun. Even if they're not really sleeping, you know, they're a little winded down by now. So it's like you can have a little scroll time or something. Why are C-sections not talked about? It is a major surgery that takes a long time to heal. I believe that C-sections take over 18 months, in my opinion, based off what I'm feeling so far. I'm already 14 months in, and I feel good, but I don't feel 100%. I literally, if I had to say a percentage, I would probably say 47% healed. Like, you know, like some days is good. I still feel tender to the touch, so I know for a fact, like, I'm not there yet. Like, I'm not all the way there. So I wanted to search up a video because I've been seeing this video for a while. It pops up in my feed a lot on my YouTube for some reason. And just know now, like, baby, if you don't like the gore, you see her little head over there? I'm trying my best to just keep her low. But a quick disclaimer, like, if you do not enjoy seeing disturbingly innards, if body parts make you feel weird, if you don't like the ookie spookies and all of that, like, yeah, just click off the video now or just listen, you know. It is called The Anatomy of a C-Section, and I think it's by the Institute of something, the Institute of Human Anatomy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell because YouTube does not tell you when I post. I really want to see when, excuse me, do not interrupt me. I would like for you to see when I post, be part of this whole experience. So yes, mind your business. Don't be looking at my, this is the second month in a row so far that I've gotten my cycle continuously. Okay, so cheers to that, because I've been breastfeeding for over a year now. You know, it's a little over a year, not too much. I'm still like in a very, very big beginnings, but that does mess with your normal cycle because you don't produce the... Okay, I'm back. Eating some oatmeal, chocolate chip. Oh, Dragon Ball Z sparkling got updated. Breastfeeding stops the amount of prolactin in your body. Prolactin is the hormone that suppresses ovulation, which is the process to be able to become with child. And prolactin also is the hormone that produces milk. So, yeah, we're gonna chime in. I was thinking about, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Somebody really cut my uterus for no... Well.
C-sections are on the rise, and they have been for many years now. And there's multiple reasons as to why that's true. We can't just say it's because women are electing to get them more frequently, or that more emergent conditions are occurring that are forcing the C-section. That said, though, if you look at the statistics worldwide, which do vary by country, it's around 20 to 30% of all births are C-section. So what we want to do in this video is illuminate some of the mystery behind the procedure itself. We're going to look at the exact tissues that are being cut through and get an idea of what she can expect during a C-section. Let's do this.
Let's do it, man. Immediately, I have to look into one, what countries around the world have the least and the most and the least amount of C-sections. My personal opinion is, why is a lot of C-sections? Well, the leading cause to a C-section, in my opinion, is sepsis. I've been seeing sepsis a lot. I also was, well, a victim. I don't want to say a victim of sepsis, but like, that's literally what it is. I don't know what other word to use it. So like, I was also a victim of sepsis. So a lot of things. I also... No worry, I'll make a separate video on everything, like, deep down. We'll chat.
The type of procedure that's performed depends on a variety of factors, including the doctor, as well as the circumstances with which it needs to be performed, such as, is it an emergent C-section? Is this designed to save mom and baby's life? Or is this a planned C-section, and this woman received multiple C-sections prior to that? So many factors come into the exact type of incision that's going to be made.
He said emergency versus planned. Emergency C-section. So emergency and urgent, is that two different things? That's my question right now. Emergency C-section, to save mom or baby's life, either or together. Planned C-section is obviously the mother has a planned C-section, usually because of induction reasons. I notice a lot of planned C-sections are also for twins. Why? Birth them babies. Your body could do it. Like, come on. Or like, you know, but I would understand like certain medical reasons, then that's okay.
So what we're going to do is jump on over to the skeleton and look at some skeletal anatomy that'll give you an understanding of the basic layout and areas that they're going to be cutting into
now. Let's go see
during these procedures.
Oh.
Now this is a real human skeleton pelvis. Now obviously we've made a few adjustments such as the metal and the paints that illustrates the muscle attachments, but it's going to give us a really good idea of the landmarks that are in the area as they're making their incision. And again, the incision really does differ depending on the procedure they go with, but more or less, they're going to go anywhere from 2 to 5 centimeters above this area here called the pubic
2 to 5? Why would it be 2 to 5?
Cartilage? This piece of cartilage connects these two pubic bones, and we call that the pubic symphysis. So they'll go just a few centimeters up, and then they're also going to be going based off of these two landmarks here, called the anterior superior iliac spine, or ASIS. So they're going to go a couple centimeters in the medial direction.
Do they touch?
Their transverse or curvilinear incision, and then stop another couple centimeters before they would reach the
I don't remember
ASIS.
them like feeling
though,
on me to see, because you know everything was so fast and stuff. So
doing the height.
But I'm pretty sure after a certain amount of C-sections, you already kind of know.
This initial transverse cut in the abdomen, they're only cutting through the superficial layers of the abdomen or the integumentary system. So this is the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis, or the subcutaneous tissue, which is comprised mainly
That's the
of
only
fat
word
cells.
I know about epidermis.
And they do this because they don't want to cut into the muscle underneath, because that is going to increase recovery time dramatically and can be a huge risk of complications. So what they're going to do is they make that cut, and then they're going to start tearing the tissue away from itself. And this sounds kind of aggressive, but the idea here is this will lessen recovery time as well. You see, if you use a sharp tool such as a scalpel for everything you're doing, you increase the likelihood of severing blood vessels and just making it much more difficult for that tissue to heal. So they're going to use their hands and blunt ends to an instrument as much as possible to try and just reveal the deeper tissues, which are going to be connective tissue.
I ain't gonna lie, I felt like she was tearing.
They're going to need to make.
It felt like she was tearing. I remember telling her, I was like, I feel that on my right side. I feel like that's why I'm still healing. I still feel.
They should be able to see what's going to be called the rectus sheath. And the rectus sheath is just a connective tissue layer that surrounds the rectus abdominis muscle.
The rectus,
and we can
the back
see
door.
that right here with this particular
That's the back
cadaver.
door?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The umbilicus or the belly button left on. And you can also see that, so we have the epidermis, dermis, and then deep to it, you can see all this fatty tissue. This fatty tissue is that subcutaneous tissue that they're going to be cutting through. So this is kind of nice. You can see all the layers that they would be cutting through as they do that really low transverse cut, which is often referred to as the bikini line cut. All this white connective tissue, this is called the rectus sheath, and it just lies just on top of the muscle tissue, the rectus abdominis. So we've kind of cut away some of the rectus sheath to reveal the rectus abdominis on this side and left it intact here. So what the rectus sheath is it's a tendon. It's a tendon that emerges from the obliques, which are on the side.
I like science.
Of external oblique,
I was a bio major originally, so like that should probably tell you a lot. Like I think it's really
internal
cool.
oblique, and then I can flip that yet again, and we
Like,
can
this
see the
is what our
fibers of
bodies look
transversus
like,
abdominis. So
ladies.
in
I know it
between
might
these
feel a
layers is a bunch of collagen
I'm a spooky
fibers.
girl, baby. You should already know the vibes.
Obliques contract.
I just can't help but just like
it compresses the abdomen. So
just
what's
think about
interesting
Seamus
too
when I look
is
at
when
him.
all of those connective tissue layers converge. They converge right in the center, and they form
gives theater
this
kid.
white line that
He
goes
reminds me of
right down the
Max.
center of the abdomen called the linea alba. And it really is a white line. That's what linea
Linea
alba
alba.
means.
Is that
You
the
can
little
see
line that pops
right
up?
here?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is the linea alba going up towards that sternum. And this is a gap between the muscles. And this is what they're looking for. When they start making their second cut, they want to make that cut through the linea alba so they're not cutting through muscle tissue. So they will reveal away or kind of cut away or remove part of that rectus sheath just so they can see
like
enough
this,
of the linea alba
and then you cut
to
like
cut
this?
or tear
Because
their way
he
through.
did say they
depends
cut
on the
under the
specific
belly
technique
button.
they use, but once they do that, they're then going to meet another layer that's called the peritoneum. And if I flip this over, we can see what this peritoneum is going to look like. And that's what this is right here. This is all the peritoneum on the inside of the rectus abdominis. So then they're going to make their way through this, and that's when they would run into the uterus.
Let's see.
As you can see, the rectus sheath is completely intact on this cadaver, and we've also made an incision
this
that goes
cadaver?
around that lower aspect of the abdomen, and I want to be very clear, that is not at all what they do during C-section. That's something we did in order to be able to see the underlying anatomy. And as they did that, as I reflect this back, you can see that peritoneum that I mentioned earlier. They'd have to go through this next. As I pull this back, we see a giant piece of tissue that you really wouldn't have to worry much about during a normal C-section, called the greater omentum. This is a fatty apron-like tissue that drapes over the intestines. But you have to remember, in a full-term pregnancy,
you don't think that's fire? Like, bro,
pushed out of the way. So they really don't have to do much wrestling with this, but it's a really interesting piece of tissue that I'm just gonna fold back, and we meet the small intestines. And again, the small intestines would also be kind of out of the way. You see the uterus. Do you
understand what's going on?
And they would have also slipped behind the uterus in most cases. So as I pull these small intestines out of the way, we can see the uterus, and that's what this is right here. And obviously it's smaller. I mean, she was in her mid-90s, so we can't expect her to have a uterus the size of a full-term pregnancy. This is pretty cool. We can also see an ovary right here on the side as it connects to this uterine tube. But this uterus, just picture, as they would open this up.
Okay, let's pause real quick. Do you believe, hear me out, do you believe that if you donate your body for medicine after, do you believe that in a way you left some residual energy in the real world in order to be able to still feel alive? Hear me out. Let me run that back a little bit more. So I believe that there's residual energy in everything. That's why I believe okay, let's go back to Monster House real fast. You know how when you watch Monster House and the wife was basically haunting the house, her spirit, and they had to burn her bones. I believe because the bones leave that residual energy. So if you donate your body, you never get buried. On top of that too, yes, my love. On top of that too, you want some more? Okay, so what I was saying, Monster House, you have to burn the bones, residual energy, boom. Wouldn't you, in a way, still be alive in a sense? Because I believe you truly die when you're forgotten. If you're not praying to your loved ones or burning candles for them or have altars for them, there's many different ways that you can visiting their gravesite, putting flowers on for them, something very minuscule to very grandiose scales of things, but it's at the end of the day you're actually doing something to putting that energy into them, and that keeps them alive in some sense. But once you stop doing that, how is there going to be any connection?
Typically, the incision is going to be transverse again, and it's going to then just be in the rough position of where the infant's head is. So they can then birth the infant as well as the placenta, right? They have to get that placenta and amniotic sac and everything else out, not just the infant. But as they birth that, they would then stitch that uterus closed. And sometimes, in some procedures, they even pull the uterus out. And so as they stitch it, they have to kind of put it back in and rotate it and put it into this cavity that you're seeing right here. But again, it would be much bigger. And then the intestines and everything would kind of fall around it. I mean, it's obviously the uterus is going to be smaller now that it doesn't have an infant inside of it, but it's still going to be pretty big. But they don't really do much putting of the tissues back because they really only have a small window. The body will take care of most of that by itself. But what they will do, depending on
they don't put it back where it's at because they feel like the body will take care of it by itself. I believe that messed up my digestive system. I believe that's why my digestive system got a little bit out of whack. And that's probably why I couldn't poop for 5 freaking days. And, they had me there. I was so bloated. I was in so much pain because I couldn't pass a gas. I couldn't fart. I be farting. I couldn't fart.
Because they came at such a high mortality rate for the mother, they didn't want to do it unless they absolutely had to. But again, nowadays, like I mentioned earlier, we're hovering around that 20 to 30% average worldwide. It's amazing to see just how far we've come. Now, there's something else I do want to briefly mention, and that is something that we're just starting to learn and understand, the effect on the microbiome of the infant as it's born by a C-section. You see, normally, as the infant is born through the vaginal canal, mom's vaginal secretions, which are coated in good bacteria, will then coat the infant. The infant will even swallow that, and it will help create a different microbiome population eventually inside of the digestive tract. But when they're being born by C-section, we're finding a completely different microbiome profile. And that's going to be more similar to the skin on the mother, as well as even the operating room itself with which the infant is born. Now, we're still not sure of what consequences this will have later on in life, if any at all. But it's so...
I believe that's probably why my baby was struggling with her farts too, and we was both being constipated little girls. Literally, like, yo, I'm telling you, that it messes up. Do not, like, what, unless you have to. I mean, in my situation, I had to, but I still felt like, because I'm such a firm believer that, like, bro, you could do anything. It is gonna be harder, but, like, I feel like it's possible, and I believe it was still possible. I just personally, like, if you want me to be completely honest, 100%, I didn't feel safe in my environment. I didn't feel safe. And once you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable, and it's just like everything goes downhill, bro. And I messed up there. I messed up there. Feel me, on my end, but I know it's not my fault either. It's just things happen for a reason, and we just kind of gotta go through with it. But I feel like C-section should be a topic of discussion. A lot of women in the C-section community go through a lot of things, and there's not a conversation about, like, us. But all them ACLs that these boys be touring and stuff, they get their physical therapy and stuff like that. I still haven't seen my GYN. I'm still waiting for my appointment in February. On top of that, too, don't forget I had my gallbladder removed right after that, because I feel like everything was a cause and effect, and it affected my freaking digestive system, and I'm jacking it. I don't know. This could be a conspiracy. We're on the wrong day. That's on Theory Thursdays. But you know what? Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Like, what do you think? I hope I can get this video up immediately. I definitely want to make sure I put it up today, Monday. So Mama Mondays, tune in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell. I love you girls so much. And yes, let me know in the comments below, for real. Like, for real. And I'm gonna try to do this live instead. Like, I'm sorry, you know, but it is what it is. Mama Mondays.
My girl got diamonds on her arm, diamonds in her ears.